What's a black hole? It's a region of space.
It's a point of infinite density. We don't know how to wrap our brains around that. If you fall in, you never come out.
It's not the point of no return, it's the sphere of no return.
Now you throw in a hungry beast in the middle of it all.
It's this monstrous, mysterious thing.
And if you can imagine taking a bowling ball
that, I don't know, eats everything. That's not true.
You have something, you drop it off the top of a building, you're falling in to the deepest well you can possibly imagine. Physicists have just as hard a time as anybody else understanding this sort of thing.
It's a black hole. There's no other phrase we can possibly use to describe it.
The current idea of this bizarre creature comes from a radical view of space, time, and gravity. Welcome to the universe according to Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein had this crazy idea that space and time were curved, and it was the curvature of space that gave the appearance of gravity.
We tend to think of space as rigid and stable, but Einstein proposed that space and time are woven together in a flexible fabric. Massive objects like the sun actually bend and warp the fabric of space-time, creating troughs that smaller objects can fall into.
What actually happens is matter warps space-time. So the very space, the three-dimensional space that we walk through, warps slightly. Every time when I walk through space, space around me warps in on me ever so slightly, but because we're not very massive, it's so minuscule that we don't sense it.
If an object is massive enough, like the Earth, it will warp space-time so we can sense it and fall towards it. That's gravity. But what happens if an object is much, much more massive than the Earth or the Sun? In theory, it could warp the fabric so much it would create an actual hole in space-time. Once something fell in, it couldn't escape, not even light itself.
So imagine a place where the gravity is so strong, turning on a flashlight. The light would go up and it would never leave. It would curve and come back down just the way a tossed ball on Earth. It's not traveling fast enough, it goes up, curves, and comes back down.
Space itself is falling inside the black hole. It's rather like a river falling over a waterfall. It's like that, except it's space itself that's falling over the cliff. There's a place where the space starts moving faster than light. So the light, which is trying to get out, it's rather like a kayaker trying to make their way upstream on a river that's going too fast. They get dragged down to the center of the black hole.
Gravity becomes a riptide. The closer you get, the stronger the current. Eventually, you reach the event horizon, the point of no return. Deep inside, whatever goes in is lost in a point of infinite density.
The matter goes inside the surface of the black hole, shrinks down to the very center, where it gets destroyed in a region of infinite warped space and time, and it's gone.
And so, it seems, are the laws of physics. At the center of a black hole, all equations break down. Even for physicists, what happens deep inside a black hole is a mystery.
We're in want of a new idea about how to explain what matter does at the center of a black hole. We're in need of a new law of physics.
Einstein himself concluded black holes were too strange to be real.
Albert never really liked the idea of black holes. He thought they were anathema. This was something that nature should avoid. The places where space and time became infinitely twisted up, he thought, no, nature shouldn't allow that.
Black holes are certainly odd beasts in the universe. They were thought to be peculiar, so peculiar as to perhaps not even really exist in the real world. Simply because your equations show that they can exist doesn't require that the real universe has them.
But over the years, suspicions rose. Stars were found behaving strangely, orbiting invisible objects, moving faster than expected.
Even though a black hole emits no light, is completely invisible, we know exactly what effect a black hole is going to have on its environment, on the stars in its vicinity, on the gas that wanders a little too close. So, will we ever see a black hole? No. But that's not what's important here. What's important here is we can see its